Hello, my name is William Rowland. On this video I'm going to cover a school board meeting on October 4th at Aylen Junior High. Now there's several reasons for me making this video, but one of the most important things is what's happening to our freedom of speech. Now, I'm by no means an expert at parliamentary or an expert, at speaking, presentations, but I do my research. And I believe that that's how we stay on top of things and hold people accountable. So, on the 4th, during a school board meeting, a female came into the meeting and about 51 minutes into it. And she was not wearing a mask. Now, some of you may think, oh my God, she needs to wear a mask because she's supposed to wear a mask. But she was very clear that she had an exception, a medical doctor exemption for it. And it wasn't like that she was trying to say that I'm not showing it to you, I just have it. She offered to show it to them. Now, this isn't really the whole point of this video, is what this woman had done. The real issue is how the school board president and superintendent reacted to it. Now, just to be clear and kind of preface this to help you see what I see, the ADA and the RCWs overrule any proclamation. So therefore, when this woman takes in quotes these RCWs, which you may be able to hear okay, I think that you'll understand where this is going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring up this video. Now I'm going to post the full link to it. That way you can watch the entire thing. But due to the essence of time, this video is over an hour long, and I don't want to sit here and just let it play. So, here is what Kathy Yang had started the conversation with this female.
May I remind you that we do have a mask requirement. If you don't...
I don't think we can continue with that as an excuse.
Oh, I'm sorry, we don't take medical exemptions.
The meeting is available online. I just suggest we either adjourn the meeting or we have to adjourn the meeting if she won't comply.
Well,
and people can put their comments in writing to the board.
okay.
You guys need to know the law, and you guys need to back off.
We do have a virtual option for those.
Virtual, that's discrimination.
I'd recommend that we adjourn the meeting at this time.
All right.
Please just do this for our kids. If you care about them, say we're going to do this.
You better do a gut check and read the Constitution.
10, 15 minutes, we wait, and we want our turn.
I'm not aware of anything like that. It's got the accommodation. That's the legal
Am I allowed to speak? All right, thank you. I'm Shannon Birch.
I'm sorry, but the accommodation that we're required to give is satisfied by the virtual attendance. So at this time, I suggest that we adjourn the meeting. and go virtual. I'm sorry for, I'm sorry, this is,
So the other option would be to take a recess and allow her to
all right,
come back, and if she's still here, we'll have to.
okay, okay. So we'll recess for 5 minutes. I'm going to ask you to leave, please. And if you're not leaving, then we will go virtual. So I will recess the meeting for 5 minutes. We'll come back at 7 o'clock.
Okay. So let me kind of break down everything that just happened here. So at approximately 51 minutes, 30 seconds into the meeting, a woman walked in without a mask. Dr. Palm stated they cannot continue the meeting due to an unmasked person. But when we take and we look at it, there's a conversation that they're actually saying that they are only having to provide a virtual option. Now, of course, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because, quite frankly, at the end of this video, you're going to see why that they wanted to put it on virtual. You see, they can control how much information is presented to the general public. Now, I'm also going to interject into here something that's fairly new, and that's the FBI letter that came out. And they're calling parents a domestic terrorist for speaking out. Now, if this woman is arrested because of this, this is where your freedom of speech is gone. We have to start standing up. We need to support free speech. We need to support civilized conversation and presentations. To me, I'm amazed at the fact that we had riots for almost a full year in Seattle, Portland, Chicago, New York, where they were destroying businesses. They were injuring people. People lost their lives, and the FBI did not come out and do anything. As a matter of fact, we had many people in politics that were paying to get these rioters out of jail. They were paying their bail. See, this is the uncivilized environment. And when they're passing laws and trying to do things to control you, and you stand up and they try to stifle you, this is where the problem comes in. Now, I want to go on that they mention that the only requirement is to offer an online or virtual meeting. And he even said that they needed to adjourn the meeting. They never stated by law or policy of why that they would adjourn the meeting. Kathy Yang even stated during the statement of a virtual option, and there would be no exceptions received. During this conversation that I just played, Kathy Yang and Dr. Palm both said that ADA and the RCW do not apply here, and that they're not going to follow it. Those are my words, not theirs. Go back and listen to the video on exactly how they said it. So they muted the audio, and then they went to a blank screen at about 54 minutes into the video. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pause this real quick, and I'm going to adjust the video to be in the right spot. Okay, I have moved the video up to where you see the screen that they went when they blanked out the screen. Now, during this time, Maddie Names made the statement that she would stay after the meeting was adjourned to listen to the parents. And while I think that's an admirable position, I all of a sudden realized that it was the game that the board members are playing. You see, they have been trying to stifle people for some time. But the next clip that I'm going to show you, which is it's about it's 50 some odd minutes into it. So they all will stay after the meeting is adjourned in order to listen to the parents. So you might be thinking, well, that's very great. Okay, that is awesome that they are willing to listen to the parents. But you know what? The thing that you need to understand is there was no change. There was no change in location. There was no change in the mask. There was no change in any other aspect of this meeting, except that it was no longer being recorded. It would no longer be posted on the Puyallup School District website, and it would no longer be part of the minutes. This is also showing why the virtual option is not a viable option. If they can shut you out and keep you from hearing what other parents know, that is a concern. We lose transparency in this virtual environment. Now, one of the moms that spoke that is not recorded started talking about the Puyallup High School biology teacher that was recorded, basically threatening kids if they don't get vaccinated, telling them that they're going to kill millions. And she actually said that the variants are caused by unvaccinated people. Now, there's no evidence to that. As a matter of fact, most of the evidence I've seen, and I'm not a doctor, but I'm kind of basing it on what I see, that there is at least the same number of people that are vaccinated that are contracting the variant as unvaccinated. I have a person that I know that one of his vendors, staff got COVID 3 times since he was vaccinated. And just to be clear, well, this is not really about the vaccine. We have to understand there's over 700,000 entries on VAERS, which is the government database of side effects and reactions to vaccines. So it's a dangerous thing just to say it's safe when evidence shows it's not. Now, I'm an evidence and a fact person. I try to look at everything in a very open mind way, but I focus on, is it constitutional? Does it treat everybody the same? And is it good for our communities, or in this case, our kids? So I'm going to go ahead and play this next part here. And now they're only about a minute or so long, but this is when Kathy Yang adjourns the meeting without a motion and without a second. She also states that they will stay after and still listen. So I'm not making this up. I'm not even stretching the truth here. So we have to understand that if you don't know parliamentary procedure, according to the Roberts rules, to adjourn a meeting, you must have a motion and you must have a second. Otherwise, it is like a dictatorship to where the president just says, we're doing this, without the input of the other members. So I'm going to start this here, and I will let you listen.
Patients, At this time, we are legally bound to, just hold on, adjourn this meeting, officially adjourn the meeting. We are willing to stay afterwards and listen to your comments, but we are mandated by the governor to have 100%, excuse me, I'm speaking. So I will adjourn the meeting at 7:05.
So,
Okay, so you heard exactly how that went down. And I hope you picked up that she says the governor's mandate is why that they're adjourning the meeting. Now, I will do some more research, but I don't believe there's anything saying that you have to adjourn a meeting. Secondly, the woman that came in with her exception quoted RCWs and the ADA. Mandates do not overrule law. They do not overrule ADA or the United States Code, which is federal law. So at this point, seeing the FBI coming out and threatening parents if they speak out, and many think it's because of speaking out towards CRT, DEI, and 1619 Project, Comprehensive Sex Education, BLM, and LGBTQ being brought into our schools. Now, I have no ill will for any of them, but I believe that we need to be focused on academics, which include history, which includes civics, government, language arts, math, science. Our public schools are failing our children's education. To prove this fact, our 11th graders in science are meeting standards 32% of the time. According to the report card on the OSPI website, overall, all students in the Puyallup School District are meeting standards for science at 47.8%. Now, I see other percentages out there, and I don't understand how come there can be such a variant between them, and the facts are not provided as to how did they come to those agreements. How did they come to those standards of measure? And when I see things like this, it makes me question why. So as I close this video, I want to be clear. I believe we need to have a civilized society. I believe all of our school board meetings need to be civilized. And if a person is personally attacking a school board member verbally, I think that that is a disservice to the procedure of the school board meetings. However, speaking out against what's going on in our schools is not an attack against a school board member. It is an attack against their actions as a school board member. And being an elected official, they are accountable to you. There is no reason why the citizens cannot hold school districts, local governments, state governments, and federal governments accountable for their actions. So I want to thank you for watching this. I appreciate your time.